Hey everybody, back with another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing my group stage predictions for the Champions League, making predictions for the playoffs in the Champions League, and depending on where we're at time-wise, I will also probably do the same for Europa League. So yeah, what I'm going to do is have a little bit of a points scoring format for this, because I mean there's 36 teams in the group stage, so I think if you get their exact position, you've done pretty well. So I'm going to go 5 points if I got the exact position of the team correct in the group stage, 3 points for one place above or below, and then 1 point for the correct section of the table. So if I got them in the top 8, in the next 8, or not qualifying. So, how did I do? So I predicted that Real Madrid would finish first. They actually finished 11th, so I get no points there. Not great for Real, is it? But I think they've just had a bit of a slow start to the season, and obviously Mbappe now getting into form, finding his feet at Real is a big thing for them. So, you know, all hope not lost for them in the Champions League this season, I don't think. But yeah, disappointing for them. Second, I predicted Barcelona, and I got that bang on. So get 5 points for that. Yeah, I really fancied Barca to do well this year under Hansi Flick, and they are doing so. I think they're definitely one of the favourites for the entire tournament, and they'll avoid Liverpool until the final now, having finished second. I then predicted Inter would finish third, and they finished fourth, so get 3 points for them. They're just they're kind of like the new Atletico Madrid, I think. Simeone would always just grind out results, wouldn't he, in the Champions League for so many years, and I think that's Inter now. They're so defensively solid, quite dull, but very difficult to score against, and don't be surprised if they have another deep run. Speaking of, I then predicted Atletico would finish 4th, and they finished 5th, so that's another 3 points. Good start so far. I'm happy with this. Yeah, I just figured that Simeone's know-how in the Champions League would get them into the top 8. I then predicted Dortmund, last year's finalist, to finish 5th, but they actually finished just outside of the top 8 in 10th, so I don't get any points there. I then predicted Juventus to finish 6th because I had really high hopes for Thiago Motta at Juve, but I think he's kind of just clinging on to his job at the minute. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get sacked at the end of the season, and Juve finished 20th in the group stage, so no points for them. I predicted AC Milan would finish in 7th, and they finished 13th, so no points for them. And I predicted that City would finish 8th, but as we know, they are not having a good season, and they finished 22nd, so no points. business in January. I don't think that Kusanov and Reich and the kid that they've got from South America, I don't think that they're really immediate, starting 11 gonna boost their season signings. But I do think Marmoush is gonna have a good impact, and they've also signed Nico Gonzalez now to do some of the stuff that Rodri can do. And he's a really interesting profile of player actually, because he can play as an 8 and he can play as a 10. So I think that's quite a shrewd signing, because when Rodri comes back he can play alongside him. But I think for now we might see him in the Rodri role. Kovacic returns to an 8, and that could really help them. So I'm expecting bigger things from City in the second half of this season. Okay, so 9th, I had Arsenal, but they finished 3rd, so no points there. Really, really good season for them in the Champions League so far, Arsenal. They've been very, very impressive, and deservedly into the knockouts. In 10th, I predicted Bayer Leverkusen, and they've actually finished 6th, so no points there, but not too far away in the places. Next, I predicted Bayern to finish 11th. They actually finished 12th, so 3 points there. Next, I predicted PSG, and they finished 15th, so 1 point there, and again got that quite close in the places. Next, in 13th, I predicted Liverpool, and wow, how amazing. I know I talk about it on this channel a lot. How amazing is Arne Slot doing? They obviously finished in 1st, so no points there. In 14th, I had RB Leipzig, who, remember, they were in pot 1. Pot 1 they were in from the seeds. So I predicted RB Leipzig there in 14th. They finished 32nd, so no points. Incredibly disappointing season in the Champions League for them. I don't really understand it either, because they've got a good team. Next next I've got here that I predicted PSG. PSV. Let me just have a quick look at that, because where did they finish, PSV? That was it. Yeah, that was it. So I predicted they would finish 15th, but they actually finished 14th. Yeah, so got that pretty good and get 3 points for them. And then I had the last team in this section. I had Atalanta, and they were in this section, but they were right at the top of this section. They actually finished 9th, doing really well under Gasperini this season, Atalanta. So 1 point there, so not doing too bad in that section. In 17th then, the start of the next section, I predicted Stuttgart. Obviously they did really well in the Bundesliga last season, but they actually finished 26th in this, just missing out on being in this section in the playoffs, so no points there. I then predicted Aston Villa, who have done amazingly well, and they finished 8th actually in the automatics, so no points there, but well done Unai Emery. Next I predicted Benfica, who were just at the bottom of their section above, so I got them quite close on places, but no points there. I then predicted Shakhtar, who just missed out on this section, They were just in the section below, so at the top of the section below, so no points there. They finished in 27th. I then predicted Sporting Lisbon, and they finished 23rd, so I get 1 point there. I then predicted Red Bull Salzburg, who actually finished 34th, so really bad for them, so no points there. I then predicted everybody's favourite hipster team from last season, Girona, to just sneak into the playoffs, but they actually finished 33rd, so no points for them, clearly missing Sevilla. And then I predicted Monaco to just sneak into the playoffs, and they were in this section, Monaco. They finished 17th, so I get 1 point there. So the teams that I predicted would be knocked out then, I predicted Celtic, who surpassed expectations and finished 21st, so no points there. I then predicted Lille, who've done amazingly well this season, and finished 7th, so no points there. I then predicted Dinamo Zagreb, who finished 25th, so they were in this section, so I got 1 point there. Then I predicted Feyenoord, and they actually finished 19th, so fair play to them. I get no points there. I then predicted Club Brugge, who just snuck into the playoffs, the last team in the playoffs, so I get no points there. They finished 24th. I then predicted Brest, who've completely overperformed. They finished 18th, so no points there. I then predicted Bologna, who finished in 28th, so in this section, so I get 1 point there. I then predicted Sparta Prague, who finished 31st, so I get 3 points there. And then Red Star Belgrade, they finished in 29th, so I get 1 point there. Then I predicted Young Boys, who finished bottom of the table, so I get 1 point there. Next, I predicted Slovan Bratislava in 35th, and they actually did finish in 35th, so I get 5 points there. And then I predicted Sturm Graz, and they finished in 30th, so I get 1 point there. So, in total, I got 34 points, and I'm not too mad at that, to be honest. I think that's quite decent predictions. So yeah, those were my Champions League predictions and how I did, guys. Let me know about yours as well, how you did, if you made predictions, and what you thought to my predictions. I'm now going to talk about the playoffs then. So first of all, we have Brest versus PSG, an all-French game, which I quite like to see this so early in the competition. I actually really like to see this. I think it's quite interesting. So they have played in League and already this season, and PSG won that 3-1, and I definitely fancy them over 2 legs to beat Brest. I think that'll be quite comfy actually. I think PSG are going to go into that, into the next round at a canter. And remember, very, very spicy. PSG, if they do win this, will play either Liverpool or Barcelona. Some reward for them to finish in the top 2 in the league, and they get probably PSG in the next round. And there's some definitely easier ties for people than that. So topsy-turvy world of the Champions League. Next we have Juventus versus PSV. It's a really, really juicy tie, I think. I think they're pretty evenly matched, in all honesty. PSV are top of the Eredivisie at the minute, having only drawn 2 and lost 3 in the league. However, those 2 draws and 2 of the 3 defeats have all come in their last 6 games in the league, so they are in a bad run of form at the minute domestically. Juve 5th in Serie A currently, and they've only lost once. However, they are the draw masters. That's everybody's talking about that. That's their unfortunate speciality this season. They've drawn 13 out of their 23 league games, which is why they're down in 5th. Not going so well for Thiago Motta so far. Juve beat them 3-1 in the group stage. But I don't know why, I just fancy PSV to sneak through, possibly in extra time, and this might be the kind of final straw for Thiago Motta, so I'm going for PSV there. Next we've got the tie of the round. Obviously we've got Man City versus Real Madrid. Absolute belter. How many times have they been drawn together in the last few years? It's mad. We've seen some real wars between these two, and it's pretty cool. I just think that now Real Madrid's attack is starting to click. I mean, obviously Mbappe's settled in now and he's doing really well, scoring every game pretty much. Rodrigo's in the form of his life. Rodrigo's just scoring worldies. Bellingham's really chipping in as well. I just don't think City are going to be able to handle that attack, in all honesty. So I fancy Real Madrid over 2 legs to go through. And next we have Sporting versus Dortmund. Sporting are top of the Primera, and Dortmund are down in 11th in the Bundesliga. But Sporting have looked worse in the Champions League since Amarin left, which is completely understandable. But Dortmund also now they've got a new manager, ex-Bayern boss Niko Kovac. I think this one might end up going to penalties. I think they're pretty evenly matched again, and I'm going to back Sporting to win that on penalties. But it's a bit of a toss of a coin, that one. Club Brugge versus Atalanta. I think Atalanta are heavy favourites for this. I think they look great. Atalanta are really good. Kind of a dark horse for me to have a bit of a deep run, and I think they'll win this quite comfortably. Next we've got a great tie. Celtic versus Bayern Munich. And do you know what? It is possible. Bayern look very fallible. It's definitely possible, but I don't think it'll happen. I think Bayern will win this one. Then we have Feyenoord versus AC Milan. This is a really interesting one because I think obviously to lose your best player in Santi Jimenez in the January window is pretty unfortunate for Feyenoord. It's even more unfortunate to lose him to the team that you're about to play in the Champions League in AC Milan. So yeah, that is really interesting, and I think that gives AC Milan the edge. I think AC Milan will win this one. And then finally we have Monaco versus Benfica, another pair of teams that have been paired together that I think are pretty evenly matched. They played each other in the group stages actually, and Monaco lost at home to Benfica, but they did have a red card, and it was the red card that was the big factor in this loss. Both are doing well in the league this season. Monaco are in 3rd, which is good for them. Benfica are in 2nd behind Sporting. I think this will be really tight again, but I just about fancy Monaco. I think, having a good season. Okay, so we're at 19 minutes. I think I want to do a bit of a long one. So I'm going to go straight into the Europa League predictions then. So, just have a quick drink. Have I got my drink here? Where is it? Don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Having another delicious non-alcoholic beer today. Goller Alcohol Frei, which is a German beer, if you can find that. It's probably my favourite non-alcoholic beer, to be honest. Tastes just like a really good German Hells. So delicious. So I said that Porto would finish top of the Europa League and that they would win every game. which I said was a very bold prediction, and yeah, they have not done that. They finished 18th, so I get no points there, which is that's not good for Porto. I then predicted Spurs to finish second, and they finished fourth, so I was really close, but I just get 1 point for that. Next, I predicted my team, Man United, and hey, maybe I do know something, because they did finish third, so I get 5 points for predicting my own team. I then predicted Real Sociedad, and I thought they would do really well, but they finished 13th, so no points for them. Slightly disappointing, I would say, for Sociedad there. I then predicted Athletic Bilbao, and they finished second, so they were in the top 8. I get 1 point for them. I then predicted Roma, who again, disappointing. They finished 15th, so no points there. I then predicted Besiktas. They finished 28th. I think, was it 28th for Besiktas? Quick look. Yeah. Obviously Solskjaer's new team, isn't it, Besiktas? They finished 28th and they're out, so no points for them. And then I predicted Galatasaray to finish 8th. And I got them reasonably close. They were in 14th, so no points there because they're in the section below. Okay, so not the best, but got my own team spot on. Then in 9th I had Nice, and they finished second bottom in 35th, so absolutely no points for them. I then predicted Frankfurt in 10th, so again got them quite close, but they were in 5th in the section above, so no points for them. Then I had Braga in 11th, they finished 25th, so no points for them. And I had Fenerbahce in 12th, they finished 24th, so no points for them. And then I had Lyon in 13th, they finished in 6th in the top section, so not too far away, but no points for them. I had Olympiacos in 13th, they surpassed expectations I'd say, and they finished 7th, fair play to them. They were in the top section, so no points for them. Then I had Dinamo Kyiv in 11th, but they finished 34th, so no points for them. And I then had Ajax in 16th, got them quite close, they finished in 12th. So that's the only point that I got in that second section. Not a good one for me. Okay, I then had Slavia Prague at the top of the next section. They actually finished 30th, so no points there. And then I had PAOK, and they finished 22nd, so I get a point there. I then had Anderlecht, and again they surpassed expectations. They finished up in 10th, so no points there. And I then had Lazio, who are obviously the surprise package in this year's Europa. They finished top and are absolutely flying, so no points for them. I then had Steaua Bucharest, who they finished in the second section, so fair play to them, no points for me. They finished in 11th. I then had Rangers, who just snuck into the top section in 8th, so again, well done Rangers, and no points for me. And I then had everyone's favourite hipster team, Bodo Glimt. They actually finished in 9th, so no points there. And I then had Midtjylland, and they finished in 20th, so 1 point for me there. So then the teams that I predicted not to qualify, so I had Hoffenheim, and they finished in 27th. Okay, so Hoffenheim. Do I get 3 for them then? Because I've written down I get 1. Oh no. Yeah, I had them in 25th, but they actually finished in 27th. So it is just 1, but I did well on that one. Then I had Ferencváros, and they finished in 17th, so no points there. I then had Karabag, and they finished bottom of the table, so I get 1 point there. I then had Ludogorets Razgrad, and they were in 33rd, so I get 1 point there. I then had Malmo, and they finished 29th. FC Twente, and they just snuck into the playoffs in 23rd, so I got no points. I then had AZ Alkmaar, and they finished in 19th, so no points there. I then had Victoria Pilsen, and they finished 16th, so no points there. I then had IF Elfsborg, and they finished in 26th, so I get a point there. I then had Maccabi Tel Aviv, and they finished 29th, so 1 point there. I then had Union Saint-Gilloise, and they actually snuck into the playoffs. They finished in 21st, so no points there. And I then had RFS, and they finished 32nd, so I get a point there. So in total I got 17 points. I only did half as well as I did in my Champions League predictions, which I don't know whether that's because I have less knowledge about these teams or whether it's just more difficult to predict. I'll let you be the jury on that one. Okay, so I'll finish off with the predictions for the playoffs in the Europa League then. So first of all we have Ferencváros versus Victoria Pilsen, and I'm going to be really honest, guys, I have absolutely no idea on that one. Not a clue. I don't know anything about either of them really. I know what countries they're from, that's it. I'm going to take a punt and say Victoria Pilsen to go through, because I like Pilsners. I like the Pilsner beers from the Czechia region, so yeah, we'll go for them. Then we've got Bodo Glimt versus FC Twente, and I really fancy Bodo Glimt for this actually. I think they've been a revelation so far. They only just missed out on the automatic spots, having finished in 9th. They beat Porto, they beat Braga, and they beat Besiktas in the group stages. FC Twente are in 6th in the Eredivisie, which is not a great season for them. So yeah, I fancy it Bodo Glimt for that one. We've then got Union Saint-Gilloise versus Ajax. And Ajax are in really good form at the minute actually. They've really picked up. They're up to 2nd in the Eredivisie. They're only 2 points behind PSV now, but they've got a game in hand, so they could go top. I think they'll have too much for USG, so I fancy Ajax to go through. We've then got AZ Alkmaar versus Galatasaray, and these two actually played each other in the group stages in Alkmaar, and it was a 1-1 draw. I think in a 2-legged tie, I think Gala have got too much for them up top, particularly with Dries Mertens feeding Osserman. Yeah, I think Galatasaray will win that one. We've then got a bit of a beauty. We've got Roma versus Porto. Roma have started to improve under Claudio Ranieri, and Porto are in a bad run of form at the minute as well. So I think it'll be close, but I think Roma might sneak by in that one. We've then got Fenerbahce versus Anderlecht. Mourinho is a cup specialist, isn't he? He's really good in Europe as well. He's a serial winner, and I just think he might actually be the deciding factor in this one. So I think for this tie, I think Fenerbahce will have too much, and they'll go through. We've then got PAOK versus Steaua Bucharest. Steaua actually beat PAOK away in the group stages. They finished a lot higher as well than them in the group stages, so I fancy them to win that one. And then finally we have Midtjylland versus Real Sociedad. And I think Sociedad are a better team overall. They've kept hold of Martin Zubimendi in January as well. I don't think I'll have too many problems here, so I'll go for them. And that's my predictions in full, guys. Quite a nice length video this, just under 30 minutes. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll speak to you soon.